Hello, hello. It's 4:30 in the afternoon on the 21st of August. It is week 3, day 3. I didn't update yesterday, unfortunately. I kind of lost track of time. So I'll tell you about yesterday as well. I'll start with today, though. So in my film class, we had another discussion about the film that we're going to make, and honestly, I'm just so tired of having discussions about the film. Just like, we've got like 3 script ideas. Well, we've got like 3 scripts and a bunch of other ideas running around. Just like, for heaven's sakes, it's like we just need to pick a director and pick a freaking script and just start filming it, okay? Like, I don't even care if it's my script. I really don't. I just want us to not talk about it anymore. And there's this girl in my film class who just like keeps bringing up issues that like aren't really issues, and it's like, oh, but what about this? And I'm like, what about it? Like, okay, I wrote my script so that it didn't matter what sex anyone was, or like I encouraged. Like, I had an author's note that was like, I encourage you to have a homosexual couple, and she was like, should we use a homosexual couple? And I'm like, it doesn't matter. I mean, yes, but like, why don't we cast it and then decide like if that, like, see who we can get to do this first before we, for heaven's, and we spent like half an hour talking about that, and I was like, just shut up, for heaven, it doesn't, like, okay, please, just, yeah, yes, use a homosexual couple. Or no, don't. It was really frustrating. And I was like, okay, we have scripts. Let's not talk about any more ideas for scripts, because we have scripts. We've got them. They're done. Like, well, I mean, they're like first draft done, but like, let's just get one and get the go ahead, and I'll revise my script. I'll make it better, and let's film. Enough about that. Yesterday in film class, we met at the place where the computers that have video editing software on them are. I lost track. That sentence sort of got away from me a bit, yeah. But it was like 20 minutes away by bus, which was kind of a pain, but not too bad. And I don't really remember how to use video editing software, so it was a useful lesson. It's been really hot here. I don't like it. Yesterday was like, excuse me, yesterday was like 95 degrees. I wore shorts, man. And today it's also very hot. It's super sunny. I want it to be like 70 degrees and rainy all the time. That's what I want. I did not go to my speaking course this morning. Instead, I slept for another 2.5 hours, and it was awesome. And this time I did. I excused myself. I went to the bureau office. I was like, what's the word for bureau? Office, and was like, hey, so I don't have a phone, but I was in my speaking course this morning, so like, yeah. And she was like, were you sick? And I was like, yeah, I didn't feel well. Well, I suppose it's technically true, because I was, you know, like, but it was more just that I didn't want to go. Yesterday, I actually made I've already mentioned this, I think, but I saw the film Effie Briest yesterday at the university, and oh my god, it's the most boring film I've ever seen. It's like, it's 2.5 hours long, and like, I can't say if you could get the full plot across in an hour and a half, because I didn't really understand a lot of what they were saying. But I'm pretty sure you could, and that would be better. It was like, at the end of every scene began and ended with a fade to white, and so, but like not a natural fade to white. It would be like they'd stop talking, and then it would fade to white, and it would be like, I counted and it was like 4 seconds. And if you don't know, if you're having a conversation with someone, 5 seconds of silence is the longest. Is like after 5 seconds you start being really uncomfortable. Like that's an awkward silence, 5 seconds. And every single scene ended with an awkwardly long silence. It was like when you go and see a bad junior high production, and the person who's doing the light board doesn't really know what they're doing, and so like the scene will end, and then like 5 seconds later, the light board person will be like, "Oh crap, lights! Turn off the lights!" and they'll turn off the lights, and it was just not good. It was just not good. I'm not going to talk anymore about it because it made me really angry. But so like I was out until 11 o'clock at night doing that because it was supposed to start at 7:30, but like the teachers like talked about it for half an hour beforehand. For heaven's sakes, I don't want to talk about this film. I just want to watch the film. And then I watched the film and I was like, wow, actually I would have preferred to just talk about it instead. But I'm not going to talk about that anymore because yes, frustrating. Yesterday morning in my speaking course, I had a presentation with a group presentation about Wagner, and this was the thing where we went out into the city and like talked to people about how much they knew about Wagner and how much they liked Wagner, and it went very well. I made a bunch of graphs, and they were all pretty excellent, if I say so myself, and interestingly, if you don't know, Bayreuth, where I'm staying, is it's where Wagner lived for a good portion of his life, and it's where there's a Wagner festival every year here. That's like it's a big deal in the realm of opera. And I'm not a big opera fan, but I joined that group because it seemed like they had the most concise, well put together questions. But anyway, so surprisingly, we asked 20 people about their knowledge of Wagner, and we tried to get a good mix of people from Bayreuth and people not from Bayreuth, and age and sex and that sort of thing. Surprisingly, people not from Bayreuth knew a lot more about Wagner than people from Bayreuth. Like, we asked them to name an opera, and pretty much everyone from Bayreuth named the same opera, but that was the only one they could name. And people not from Bayreuth named like a wide variety of other operas. And also, less surprisingly, people from Bayreuth like Wagner a lot less than people not from Bayreuth. It's sort of the Wizard of Oz effect. I actually referenced this in my my section of the presentation. I'm from Kansas, and when you're from Kansas and you go somewhere that's not Kansas, and you say that you're from Kansas, people are like, oh, like the Wizard of Oz, and you're like, yes, like the Wizard of Oz, because I've never heard that before. And so I suspect that people from Bayreuth get really tired of Wagner because it's the only thing that their city is really known for on the internet, or even the national stage. Like, there's a bunch of other stuff that Bayreuth is known for to people from Bayreuth. Like, there's this poet guy named Jean-Paul, who I'd never heard of because no one had heard of him, who was apparently more well-known than Goethe in his day, but is not anymore. And there's, like this, like a person who basically brought culture to Bayreuth, the Markgrafin Wilhelmina, but no one knows about her either, who's not a Bayreuth person, who's not from Bayreuth. And so, like, I think probably they're just overexposed to Wagner, and they're like, no, God, no, not more Wagner. Understandably, because that's kind of how I feel a lot of the time. But yeah, the presentation went well. What else? Nothing really else has happened, I don't think. I had the best chicken I'd ever had. Maybe that's maybe an exaggeration. I had some really good chicken for lunch today. But the plate it was served on was like I actually burnt my fingers on the plate. Not the chicken itself. The chicken itself was a little bit hot, but not like, oh god, I'm dying. Whereas the plate was like, I picked it up and I was like, oh god, oh, okay, that feels like it just came out of an oven. So I was gonna put like have ketchup on the side, but I couldn't pick up the plate long enough to like put the ketchup on it because it was one of those like pump squeeze thingies. I'm really close to being done with A Feast for Crows. This is where I am. That's the end. So I'll have that done probably tomorrow. Exciting. I should have brought a swimsuit because there's a oh wow, I just forgot the word for swimming pool. There's a swimming pool like 200 feet that way. I can actually hear it right now. I can hear children being like, and when they make announcements over the PA system, I can hear them. But I don't have a swimsuit. So that's unfortunate. I did laundry yesterday. It's been drying all day. It's been drying for almost 24 hours. When I went and got it this morning, it was still not dry. Most of it. Thankfully, there was like one pair of underwear that was dry, which is good because I was actually out of underwear. But none of the rest, none of the other pairs of underwear, none of the socks. Unfortunate. But hopefully they'll be dry soon. I mean, it's been 23 hours since they started drying, so I'll go get them after, probably after dinner. I think that's it. I think that's probably enough. I've been talking for a while, and I can't really think of anything else. So tonight, I'm not sure if I'm going to go to choir or not, because I went to the choir the first 2 times, and like it was not good for my voice. Like I sang too loudly and with insufficient warm-up, so I think I might not go to that tonight. But I don't know. I'll decide when it is closer to 7:45. So, yep, that's all. I'm going to stop talking now. Bye.